Two spots. Brian.
I got 0. I need 6. 0 and 2.
You got this, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
for me.
Call it.
2. 8. 2. 2.
Let's go. 2 spots.
Very nice. Time to make a round, baby.
Lil Wayne.
4.
Ooh.
5.
Make it Wayne.
1.
1 clap.
Let's get Wayne.
Hey, Zone. Hey, Zone. Hush. Hey, Zone. Hey. I can't get face on. Face on. Start again.
0. 1 or 0.
Sean.
2, 3, 0, 1. Let's go, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. First week.
Sean! Let's go. Alright, craziness. This week, rookies. What's the incentive?
Charge of $200 active if you do manual billing.
Ah, there you go.
Holy.
You have to.
Manual billing, Caleb.
Do you?
Mandatory.
Manual billing is when they send in a check to pay every month.
Never do manual billing. That's the sales role. So, this is what I've done for manual billing. So, manual billing is a mandatory $199 activation. What do they have? And so, Save Streets, our dealership, is how they have to charge it. So you have to call into Save Streets, put it on a credit card for manual billing, or they have to mail it. It's a complete pain. So this is what I do for manual billings. I've done it like 3 times. Hey, manual billing. Hey, it's a pain in the butt. They're going to charge you a bunch of fees for it to do it. Let's just do the first payment on a credit card, and then after that, we'll change it to manual billing. And I get their credit card around $69.99. The next day, they call ADT. Hey, I want to switch it to manual billing. Do it like 3 days after they process the first payment. So then you don't have to deal with it.
Or just don't.
Yeah.
ADT can like do it, so we can only do it where it comes like every month. ADT can do like quarters, they can do so many different payment variations with ADT, like don't do manual billing on the iPad, it sucks.
But don't even give them the option. Hey, you're checking your credit card. Can you do manual billing? No, we're getting manual billing. Your bill sits in the mail, it's not secure, so they stop doing it. If it's going to be a complete deal breaker and they throw up their hands at it, then that's another, like it's like a back pocket close you can do for it.
Yeah.
That make sense?
I was going to say incentives, but this week for the rookies and the vets, we have the scuba tank. Does everyone know what the May incentive is for me, top 5 rookie, top 5 vet in the region? It's like a portable scuba tank. Have you guys ever seen Star Wars Episode 3?
Yeah.
Oh man, y'all lame, y'all missing out. Anyway, it's like a cool portable scuba tank you can go scuba diving with for 10 minutes and it just like has 10 minutes of air there. You can like swim with it. The one for this week from Evo is
Great for spearfish.
for rookies, you got to sell 3 finance deal this week, and for vets, you got to sell 5 finance deals this week.
For what?
For the hoodie and tote, so it's probably going to be about 100 Evo points, 150 Evo points, something like that.
Nice.
And there's another incentive because they've been financing a lot of like door locks, automation stuff. They're doing a door and window incentive. So if you finance the highest MMR of doors and windows, then they're giving something. I forgot what the incentive is.
What do you
like 200? It's like 200 Evo door sensors, window sensors.
So,
What do you mean the highest?
how many door sensors and window sensors you have?
No, not automation, actual security stuff. So like doors, windows, contact stuff.
So we want to put contacts on every window now.
Is it each?
There's an incentive for that. So
Bed.
yeah, that's another little one there.
All
Corey,
the
you got the
interior
thought?
doors, the toilet.
Yeah. Do we have glass shock sensors?
We're not shot sensors.
Somebody asked you about them?
Window shakes.
Shock sensors?
Yeah.
That's the only one.
I know, it's just how we can do.
Passenger doors.
Yeah, no, they're.
All right, Corey, what do you think about?
They don't do anything.
It's gonna be a good day.
Huh?
It's gonna be a good day.
All right.
Yeah. I like it.
Corey! I'm thankful for yesterday, the NASCAR race.
That's sick.
That was pretty sick.
Thank you for horsepower.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
America.
Yeah.
For Bush.
Let's go.
You see your top rookie in April?
Oh,
Yes, sir, I
Let's
did.
go, bro. Look at that.
Wait, what was the phone?
Wow.
Mike P.
Grady, you want to discuss these?
I'll take props for that.
More people from our office.
Yeah.
Come on. That's how we do. I'll take props for that.
Take props? Yeah.
Let's hear it out.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Good, good.
Good. So my name's Alex. I'm in charge of ADT Science. Pretty sure you're probably seeing me around the area. Long story short, the reason I'm in your area, obviously with all the car break-ins, I'm sure you probably heard about them. Miss Leslie on the corner.
Yeah, it's been getting kind of crazy now.
Yeah, and then Miss Leslie was telling me about the same stuff. She's been here about 4 years. You guys beat that, or?
Yeah, 56.
56. Holy
Yeah.
cow! You guys have probably the record in the neighborhood.
Nah, Sally around the corner.
Sally? 60 years. Holy cow! I can never do that. So back to the point. What we're trying to do is get the signs out. Obviously, with some of the car break-ins in the area, there's been a lot of people calling for security cameras. We know that. We obviously want a piece of the pie, so when we get the sign out, neighbors see ADT, 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 they know to call for security, right? For you helping start getting the word of them, obviously with the sign out in the yard.
Yeah, you can put the sign up. That's fine.
So that's half the problem. So if you're not letting that, we get a word of mouth referencing, friends, family, neighbors. They see the sign, they call us. And so in exchange, we want them to call us, obviously for a reason. When they look for cameras, they see ADT, ADT. And right here, they know to call for cameras. So we'll pay for an outdoor camera to go over the cars. That way nobody comes and breaking your cars. If something were to happen, they know who to call for it, which would be ADT. And so right here, I just show you how it works. We do cover the cost of it by using the money in billboards and commercials. I can show you how that works if the place can set us down. Or
Yeah.
Alright, so a couple good things that Alex did right at the beginning. I think a lot of rookies just miss this part because you're so antsy to like get into your pitch that a lot of times you miss like being a human with the person, right? And they ask, how you doing? Oh, I'm pretty good. How about yourself? And Alex let him actually respond, and that made it more comfortable. Hey, how's it going? Michael, AT? Like I said, how's it going? And I didn't even like let him respond to the conversation, right? It was just weird. So in the beginning, like he took his time with the person. That was really good. And then he took him on a couple rabbit trails just to get his attention off the pitch, so it wasn't salesy the whole time. He talked about the neighborhood, how long you've been here. And then he brought in the crime and was assumptive about it. Hey, with all the crime, we know people are getting insecurity. So that's going to build, one, Alex is becoming the professional. And he knows what's going on in the neighborhood. And that's going to build more urgency in his sales process. So I like how I brought that up. And then he was just assumptive all the way through. The transition, I mean, obviously, that was a little early. Like, we're doing it at pitch, but you probably should have got at least a hot button, a name, talk to him a little bit more. Because if you would try to get in that quick, maybe it would have worked. It's always good to try and go for a transition, but I would have tried to fish a hot button. But Grady was being a difficult customer, so I had a hard time even picking anything off that. I thought it was really good. Kyle, Nate, you guys get anything?
I'd just say to slow down a little bit, especially at the beginning. And then the only other thing I saw was when he was like, "Oh yeah, you put the sign out." You kind of like stumbled for a second. Yeah. And was like, "Well, that's half the problem. Just make it a positive." Yeah. Like, oh well, yeah, that's the best. Well, perfect. Since you help us do that, we get to pay for the whole thing.
Yeah, I thought the back to the point was just a little bit abrupt, but except for that, it was pretty good. Like back to the point is like it's kind of like you were being super personable, and it's like all right, back to what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But like because you pitch personably, like you can just weave it in. Like you can, you're good at weaving your pitch in with like conversation. So that was the only thing I would say. But it was a good pitch.
Beautiful. So, how many of you guys in here feel like intimidated by this job sometimes? Like, oh man, this is a lot to learn. I don't know if I can do this. Yeah. So all of you guys have been doing this your entire lives, and you don't even know it. Like all of you guys are good salesmen. There's a million things that you've done in life, like where you have to sell somebody on the idea of something. So I'm gonna use an example. How many of you have tried to convince one of your friends to go to the movies with you?
The movies.
Just
Okay, go to the movies.
Just anywhere.
Yeah, okay. So all right, let's take the example of going to the movies. what are some of the ways that you would convince me to go to the movie with you?
All my friends are coming.
All right. Okay. Buy a ticket. Okay. Let's assume.
To build value in the movie.
Everyone else.
Okay.
It's awesome.
I'll try. All the females gonna be there tonight.
Name drop. The females will be there.
Name drop.
All the female organisms will be there.
Climbed up like boredom. Climbed up with boredom.
The movies too.
Like how we would tell you personally.
Yeah, personalized selling?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So like it's gonna be full of gays, so you probably would go.
Okay, build value on the gays. Okay, so bringing your gay friends, full of gays, so
That's gonna look great on YouTube.
You
package it.
Like
What
you
is
make
my
it like not a big deal, you know, like it's like yeah, like we're just gonna go, like you can come if you want, you can have you. It's like
Pullback.
Pullback. Yeah.
Pullback. You can come if you want. I don't really care.
Right, but you got same thing. You gotta know when to use these, right?
Yeah.
What's another thing you're gonna do?
You package it with something else you know they want. Like
They got popcorn.
Jessica's gonna be there.
Yeah. I'll buy the popcorn if you come.
Yeah.
What's that called?
Back pocket.
Let's call it back pocket. Let's call it an ace, right? Oh, it's coming. Hey, you come right now. I'll buy the popcorn. So that's how I got Nate to come to the. I'm gonna show you guys something here in a second. Yeah, snacks, whatever. Okay. So that's a pullback, an ace. So all of us have done this before, guys. It's just learning how to plug it in to ADT, right? There's little one-liners. It's the same exact thing. It's just applying it to this job. And the longer that you do this, you're going to start to figure that kind of stuff out. I was reading through the sales manuals, guys. There's a ton of good information that's out there that you guys could read to start applying all this stuff, right? But yeah, so building value in the movie, right? So like, if I'm trying to take you, I'm trying to convince you to watch the movies, what I tell you about like the entire plot of the story? What I tell you? What I tell you about the movie?
What they most interested in.
Right. Yeah, it was hilarious, right? It was funny. I'm going to talk about the way that the movie
Made you feel.
right? It was funny. Oh, we had so much fun at the movie, right? If I'm going into like the videography part of it, like there's some people that you might sell, right? So if Cooper's a film major, I'm going to sell him differently on the movie versus how I'm going to sell Mike on the movie, right? So, okay, if you have that super technological person that you're selling, maybe you need to go more like the specs of the system or the specs of the movie. But for the most part, I'm just going to talk about what? How it makes them feel, right? So how does having an alarm system make you feel for your house? Nate, how do you feel right now knowing that you have ADT at your house?
It's great. I feel safe. I know I'm getting a call. Like, yeah.
You feel like you know what's going on when you're not there.
Yeah?
Yeah. And like our renters enjoy using it, so like it makes me feel good that they're protected while I'm not there, which is good too. So.
Okay. That's a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so these really are the only things that you have to talk about. Me and Kayla were talking about this a little bit earlier, I think a couple nights ago. I don't really pitch them and like sell them so much. Like they know what a camera's gonna do, right? Like you don't have to go into the specs and this, that, and the other and just bog down the sale. It's like, hey, we're gonna get you set up. That way you feel safe when you're home and your husband's not here. Your husband's gonna know what's going on when you're not here, and you guys have peace of mind knowing if your house is ever burning down that someone's gonna show up to save all your valuables and your pets. Boom. That's all people need to know to sell them on the system. So you guys don't feel like you have to know everything, but just know like there's a million things that you guys have done your entire life that you're gonna be able to just plug in like to ADT. Yeah. So and then what we're gonna go into a little bit more is just the objection side of it. What are some common objections that you guys feel like you're getting? 'Cause I think Kyle is trying to get a cut off short because that was a really good training. So I kind of want to touch on a few more objections. What do you feel like you guys are running?
Take it over, spreadsheet.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it to today.
Yeah, take it over.
Or, I just don't feel like I need this.
Yeah, they
Safe
I mean, just do it for that.
Not interested, dude.
My neighbors watch my house. I'm okay.
Mine sale Saturday. My neighborhood has a lot of cops that.
There's gonna always be another one of you next year.
Keep going there.
My dog.
Next year?
Yeah.
I'll get the promotion next year.
Yeah. Be like, yeah, I mean,
I'll do
having a
it.
baby right now, I guess.
I'll do it in a couple months.
Right. Okay. Those are some good ones. You can work with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, yeah, I've heard of it before. I'll probably do it next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, one guy told me in about 4 years, that's when I would be ready to do it.
Damn.
Specifically 4 years, yeah.
What?
Because that's when his son will be graduated.
Alright, so who feels here that like by overcoming objections that they're kind of like annoying people, that they're bugging people, you get uncomfortable trying to overcome the objections? No? A little bit? Okay. I figured that a little bit, okay? Guys, an important thing to remember when you're in the sale is know that, how do I word this? So if Caleb tells me an objection, right? Maybe Caleb's objection, if he says, oh, I want to think it over, or whatever, in his mind, he's just, I don't have enough value yet to make a decision. I don't have enough information to make a decision. Now, if I knock on a customer's door and something wasn't making sense, Ron's not going to tell me, hey man, can you go back and re-explain a little bit what you just said? I'm not sure I understand this quite well enough to make a decision. No one will ever say that to you on the doors, right? They're just going to say, yeah man, I'm good, or oh, maybe later. So in my head, when I get that objection of, oh, I'm good, maybe I'll do it later, in my head, is just, they just don't understand yet. So I'm just going to keep explaining it to them. So Nate, for example, when he was going to go watch the movie yesterday, all right, we're going to do a live role play here.
Live role play.
My screen there.
Can you send me that picture too?
Oh, your ass? Yeah. Oh, it's in the group.
Is it in the group?
Make sure you scroll all the way to the bottom of that conversation.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm sure.
Where is it?
Look at all those. Why do you have a monster sign for one name?
Where is it? Oh, there it is. Alright, so Nate earlier in the day had mentioned us going to the movies, right? And then about 2 hours later he said, we may stay in, the sun draping. What is that called?
That's a think it over.
Right? Yeah, that's an objection, okay? So what did I say? I said it was your idea. What's that? That's a tie down, okay? Because earlier in the day, Nate said he was interested in watching a movie. So,
Things get played.
sure, okay? But what can you do at the beginning of the sale to tie down? What does Brady Dayton say? What's his one-liner? You guys heard his pitch?
Yeah.
What does he say? I'm sure you guys thought about doing cameras. Boom. Now he has a stake in the ground to go back to, okay? So then what did I say? Hey, you guys want to do a movie? Cool, because I don't. Like, I made me like, this is your idea. What are you talking about, right? Because I already had a tie down from earlier in the day, right? So that's why it's important you get a tie down. And then what did I do? I assumed the sale. All right, come over, Nate. I bought the movie. He already told me like he didn't want to do it, right? Now, was Nate mad at me for buying the movie?
No.
No, he came over and had a great time. We watched the movie. Zach, was the movie good?
That was a great movie.
Yeah, we had a great time watching the movie, right?
Maddie did have a good time.
I had a great time watching the movie, I just didn't like getting too much.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that.
Maddie blew her knee out coming to the movie.
Yeah.
Like a
But at the same time, guys, this is the same thing, right?
Seen off on one.
I just didn't accept Nate's objection. I was just a little bit persistent, and I just assumed that, hey, you're gonna come watch the movie, right? And then what did I do here? Hey, you get snacks? Hey, we'll all go. And that was an ace to get Nate to come watch the movie. So don't be intimidated by this, guys. You guys do this literally every single day. Just compare it to something in your mind that you've already done, and it'll be less intimidating in your head, because this is really something that we've been doing. You go to the store. You're trying to convince your mom to buy you the toy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, it's only this much, right? We all have experience doing this. Yeah, so this is one of the training manuals. Do you guys have this, the Elite training manual?
No, send it out.
Yeah, this one's really good. So, you guys want to turn your airdrop on?
I got the elite. I got the elite kit.
Best money ever spent.
Is Yeah, Philly pack.
Those
Just have to be kicked, because I already bought those.
Edge roll.
Send to me, please.
Right.
See what she is.
Dude, what is that?
What do I open it with?
She's a
Well,
I just want to
She's one
cancer.
for how much is big.
You can,
I can tell them more you can freaking wait.
Damn, like iPhone 13 or something.
I'm not
I thought I guess
Daddy, for sure.